Hello, I'm Christopher, a research software engineer with Research Software Workshops, and it's a very warm welcome to part 3 of Intermediate R. Now all of the material is here at chriswoods.com/intermediate-r, and we're now onto the packages and Cran page. Now the string formatting of R can feel quite old-fashioned compared to other programming languages, but that's because remember, R is quite an old programming language. So R was created in 1995, and it was a better version of an even older programming language called S, which was created in 1976. Now the clunkiness of parts of R when compared to modern languages is due to this heritage. Now fortunately, R is not stuck in the past. R comes with a lot of packages that extend the core functionality and provide a more modern interface and to its most powerful functionality. Thus, when we use R with these packages, what we're going to be using is what we call modern R. So modern R is when we use R with some modern new packages that make R much more easy to use and also provide a lot more power. Now, for example, the stringer package provides a set of modern functions for manipulating and formatting strings. So if we go back to here, this is our Studio console. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear the screen. I pressed Control and L together, and that just cleared my screen so that then everything is ready for us to work. Now, to use Stringer, we first need to install the Stringer packages. Now, you only need to install a package once on your computer, and you install it by typing install.packages. There we are, it's even auto-completing for me, that's nice. And then you type in the name of the package you wish to install, so in this case, Stringer. This will now tell your RStudio to go to the internet to find the Stringer package and to then install it. Went to the internet and it found the Stringer package and then it's downloaded that onto my computer and then installed it for me. Now notice that it's got automatically the right package for the operating system. So for me it's installed the package that was necessary for macOS because I use a Mac. But also notice that it's installed it for everybody, which means that you must have administrator access to be able to install packages. If you don't have permission to install packages, then you will need to find a way of gaining access. Now, once you've installed the package, to use the package, we will then use the command library. So if we type in library and then the name of the package, in this case Stringer, and then hit return, it will then load. Now, it should be that nothing will happen. You'll just get nothing else printed to the screen. If you see output similar to error in library Stringer, there's no package called Stringer, this means that your Stringer package did not properly install. And that's probably because you did not have permissions to install it. Notice how when we installed the package, we needed to use quotes around the name. But here, when we're actually loading the package, it's completely fine. We don't use the quotes. Now, to get help on a package, we use the question mark as we did before. So if I do question mark Stringer, it will then bring up a help. And here we can see all of the help for this package, who wrote it, copywriting, most of these packages are open source, and then some useful links to maybe web pages to help you understand how to use the package. Now all of the functions in Stringer start with str. Indeed, if I hold there, you can see them now popping up. So functions include strc, which is a replacement for the cat function, and it's a more modern version of cat. There's strlength, which should be down here. There's strlength, that gives you the length of the string, how many characters are in it. There is strsub, which we'll find by looking down here. Strsub basically will extract substrings from a string. We have strtrim. This will trim the ends of a string, so remove leading and trailing white spaces. We have strpad, which is here. That will pad a string out, and then strwrap, which is here, basically will wrap a string into a paragraph. So this brings us now to our first exercise. I would like you to use the question mark to learn about these string functions and then have a go with playing with them and printing different strings to the console. Press pause now, and then when you unpause, I'll give you the answer. Okay, you've unpaused now, so I assume you're now ready to have a look at the answer. So we've installed Stringer, but let's now try and play around with, say, strwrap. How would we know how to get the help for strwrap? So if we do question mark and the name of the function, that will bring up here the help for that particular function. So in this case, this is a wrapper around this, we don't really mind, and it's saying we're going to wrap a string using this particular wrapping algorithm, and the first argument is the string to wrap, and then the second argument, width, is the number of columns, which they've set defaults to 80. So let's now create a long paragraph. So I'm going to put P is assigned to a long paragraph. So this is a long paragraph. I hope it will be wrapped into lines of less than 40 characters. That's what I want to go for. 40 characters. I can but hope. The documentation, which we can see there, well, that makes it seem like it will work. So let's see, makes it seem like it will work. Okay, so that's defined my string. So let's now do str wrap, and we're going to pass in our string, and then what was it? Width is the argument, which we can see down here. We do width equals 40, and there we are. We can see the new lines I've put in, and of course we want to print this nicely. So what we will do is we will cat this to the screen. So there we are. If we now cat str wrap, there we are. It's now nicely wrapped this into lines of 40 characters, and it's not breaking those lines, not breaking any words, which is good. Now, the power of R really comes from its great wealth of excellent packages. All of these packages are managed in a central repository, which is called Cran, which is the Comprehensive R Archive Network. Now, there are very strict protocols to follow to publish a package in Cran, and this includes an external review stage. As such, publishing an R package is a lot like publishing a paper, and so R packages on Cran are mostly of a very high standard and come complete with documentation and tests. You can get an idea of what is needed to publish a package on Cran by reading the R Packages book by Hadley Wickham and Jennifer Bryan. This excellent online book provides complete detail of how to write and publish an R package. Now, a good way to try and find the package you want, because there's so many packages, how do I possibly know which one I need, is there's an R search service, and there are many R search services. The one I quite like is rseek, and we can find that linked to in the notes. Now, you can search for individual package names or even the kind of thing you want to do. Now, as most R packages come with vignettes, and vignettes are web pages that show you examples of how to use the package, this means you can quickly find both the package that achieves your goal, plus really clear documentation and examples. So this now brings us to the next exercise. I'd like you to use rseek to look for packages that help you calculate Pearson's product moment correlation. Please limit the search to vignettes, and then can you find the vignette that shows you how to do this? And do not worry that the R in the vignette is more advanced than you've ever seen so far. By the end of this workshop, some of this will begin to make some sense. And as always, press pause, and when you come back from pause, I will show you the answer. Okay, I'm going to assume you've now unpaused and you're ready for the answer. So the first thing we're going to do is go to rseek, which I'm going to open in a new tab. Okay, this is the rseek website, and this enables you to search for packages that you might be interested in using. Now we want to look for the Pearson product moment correlation, so let's type this in. So Pearson product moment correlation. And if I now click search, this will bring up a lot, and there are lots of things here, and generally I tend to choose packages by the vignettes because then the word has popped up in the vignette. There's a good chance that the vignette will then show how to use that. So let's click here on vignettes. Now, this first search result, Goodman-Kruskal package, that looks like product moment correlation is in there. So it says like the product moment correlation. So probably this isn't the product moment correlation. So what have we got down here? Aha, Pearson's product moment correlation, blah, blah, blah. That implies this broom and deplier probably have what we need. So let's now click on this. Here we are, and I'm just going to now look for Pearson in this particular text. There, it's found it. And this seems to imply that we can get the product moment correlation. So, using there's a core here. What can we do? Core.test. So this core.test is basically looking for estimating a correlation. That was just if we didn't want to do it. And then we can have this here. So we build the hypothesis with core.test. and then we can see that core.test is within the core package. And so core.test, was that available in RStudio? So let me see if I've got that. Core.test. Yep, that is available. And it's testing for association correlation between pairs. And then hopefully down here, we'll be able to see something along the lines of Pearson. Let's go back. There we are. So if we set the method to Pearson, this would have given us Pearson product moment correlation, which is then the output that we can see here. Now, if we just take another look through this vignette, we can see there are lots of things here that perhaps don't mean much to us at this moment. So this kind of like weird sort of percent greater than percent, this mutate, nest, etc. This looks like art that's beyond us at the moment, but guarantee to you, once we get to the end of this workshop, and particularly by the end of the Introduction to Data Analysis in R, this vignette will make a lot more sense. Okay, so please feel free to use rseek to find the packages that you want, and then you can use the install packages to install them. So remember, we did install packages and then stringer, and that installed the stringer package. You could install packages, whichever package you find using rseek. Now, sometimes you might not want to install, you might want to see what do we already have installed, and we can do that using installed.packages. And I use the tab key there to complete, so the tab key is the same as me clicking. And if I now hit return, you can see here I have a lot of packages installed. So this is kind of listing all of the packages and including all of their licenses as well. So again, it's very easy to know what you have available actually on your packet in your RStudio. Now you may want to update your packages. So obviously new versions come out all of the time. And so sometimes your packages will become old because a new version will come out. And we can check for the old packages by running the old.packages function. And here we can see some of these packages are now out of date. Now if I want to update packages, I can use the update.packages function. And if we pass in ask will then basically be like, ask me whether or not I do want to update. So in this case, I'm going to use ask equals true. And what this will do is it will go through and it will try and update all of my packages. And every time it goes, yes, no, cancel, do I really want to update? I'm going to control C here. And if I do ask equals false, this will now update all of my packages automatically. Bear in mind that this could be dangerous if you are relying on a package and it changes and removes functionality that you were relying on before, but generally you should be trying to use the most up-to-date version of packages as you can in case any of the packages fix some bugs which appeared before. Now if I just check now with the old packages, hopefully now everything has been updated. There we are. I now have a completely up-to-date RStudio R and all of my packages. So with that, we have now finished part 3, and then next we'll move on to part 4, which will be looking at functions, and I look forward to seeing you there.